can manhandle the mics however you want.
Ooh.
It's nice when they're on there.
I've manhandled a few mics in my time. Some Davids too.
Please tell me you got that.
Justice. Is there some heat to? I'll let you blow my mind.
Hello,
Bye, Brian.
and welcome to episode 9. 9.
We're almost double digits,
times. Name the movie. 9 times.
I don't know. I know $2. I know that movie. But
9
what's
times is Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
How do I not know that?
I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway, episode number 9.
Hey, nice shirt.
Of I Fought the Law. This is my new Taylor Swift shirt. I kind of like it.
That's an awesome shirt. She
Isn't it
looks
great?
like a goddess.
Right?
Do you like Taylor Swift?
I do.
Is she still invited on the podcast?
Anytime she wants, and stop by whenever. Like, we will get Zach down. I'll pay Zach whatever amount of money I have to. If you just show up to film the podcast, we will make it happen.
Taylor, you reach out. We'll give you Brian's home address.
Come to the house. We'll make a nice meal. The kids will ask some questions. Put on some records. We'll have a good time. It'll be great.
How many Taylor Swift albums do you own on vinyl?
Including duplicates?
Yes. Because sometimes they print vinyl in more than one color, and Brian has to have them all. Oh, he's checking on Discogs. That's what's happening
Right now. She's releasing like one every couple of weeks.
And how many of them have you bought?
All of them. They're different versions with different bonus tracks and different colors. Sometimes they press them on different colored wax. Let's go.
Brian, you got to hurry. We haven't done an introduction to this podcast yet.
8, 9.
Well, welcome everybody.
Mm-hmm.
While Brian looks this up, because he's going to have to count about 23 is my guess. Let me give you a little update. And we went over this last podcast. This week we are drinking Warfield distilled vodka from Ketchum, Idaho.
Give us a model.
Yeah, you get a model. And since the last podcast, we have drank that much.
Wow.
It's really good. And in the break, Zach and I were talking about this is really good vodka.
It's smooth.
Really smooth. It does very well.
Yeah.
In a mule.
Go well with a cheese board, I think.
I'm sorry we don't have one. I have chocolates if you want one.
Apology not accepted. I thought this was a classy establishment.
What was your guess?
23.
23. That was close. Do you think you're high or low?
I think I'm low.
I think you're low too, Steve.
How many Taylor Swift albums do you own on vinyl?
Are we on Price is Right? What?
74.
You own
What
74?
the fuck do you mean?
Hold on. You own 74 Taylor Swift albums on vinyl.
Yes.
Wait, how tall is this stack? Is it as tall as you if it's stacked up?
I'll send you a picture of my
own
wall in my house. We remodeled our house.
We
took up one whole wall just for vinyl, but my wife made me take out all the duplicates. So the duplicates, whether they're different colors or anything, because there wasn't enough space for everything on the whole wall.
I'm befuddled right now. I'm befuddled.
Wow.
Because I don't think that I have 74 vinyl in total. How many? Just quickly look on Discogs. How many vinyl albums do you own?
1,717.
What the actual hell, Brian? I would have said another word, but I didn't want to apologize to your mom again. Whew.
It's all right. I'll apologize to your mom tonight.
Oh my gosh. You just made a mom joke.
On the podcast.
Okay.
But Debbie loves me.
I know, my mom does.
Yeah. And I love Debbie. It's a symbiotic relationship.
Don't go there.
Yeah. But yes, I own 74 Taylor Swift vinyls. I don't know how many Taylor Swift shirts.
I didn't realize it was this. Don't talk for a minute. Taylor Swift. I know you've heard us joke about you coming on the podcast. What I thought was a joke. It's very serious. And I am personally extending an invitation on behalf of my business partner, dear friend of mine, Brian Hilberta, for you to come on our podcast. whatever it takes, you reach out and we will make it happen. This man owns 74 of your vinyl. I'm guessing the average cost is $25. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's probably a low estimate.
I know how much he spent on your concerts, on your t-shirts.
No,
You shut your mouth. Taylor, we need you to come on. I thought that Eddie Vedder was his number one. It's not. It's you. So please, Taylor, I Fought the Law podcast, of all things, we need you here. All right.
Actually, if you listened to episode 8, you heard me talk about the note I put on my door and I didn't get left alone. The next day, I had to up the ante and said, if you knock on this door, sorry, Bonnie.
You didn't say it. I didn't have to apologize.
Yeah. Then, like, I can't even remember what I wrote, but it was like, unless you are Eddie Vedder or Taylor Swift,
that's right.
Then do not knock on this door. You have no justification for knocking on my door.
By the way, how many times when you had the sign that said, do not come in my office, you are not allowed, how many times did I open up your door and say, your rules don't apply to me?
Probably a dozen.
Yeah.
But let me tell you about Taylor Swift, though, because
I've got a side thing here for you since you're talking about vinyls for her. I just did some research. 2023, Taylor Swift was responsible for 7% of all vinyls sold
I believe that.
in the U.S. There's 50
of that
million.
7%, apparently 1% of those was Brian Hilberta.
Yeah.
without me, it would have been 6.
Hold on. I'm going to do the math on that.
Okay.
I want to see your
But
percentage.
let me tell you about Taylor Swift. Also, this reminds me, you were supposed to come with your top 10, and you did not.
My top 10 what?
Yeah.
Bands / artists.
I'm sorry.
But the next episode is going to be
Taylor Swift shows up, she's my number one. Taylor?
Here's the thing, though.
Go ahead.
Is the next episode will be episode 10. So come with your top 10 for episode 10.
I commit to that, Brian.
Okay. But I'll tell you about Taylor Swift because I was, 1, a music snob, 2, probably a little bit sexist, and 3, anti-country music. And I just had kind of written her off. Like, this is not my jam. I don't need to hear about, the stupid jokes about she just writes heartbreak songs or about boys that broke up with her or shit like that. And I bought into it.
Sorry, Bonnie.
I bought into it, right? And I didn't really even give her a chance, which is on me. Taylor, I'm confessing. So, but in about 2000, when did I move into my house? 2013.
Okay.
We moved into a new neighborhood. We had some friends that were on the same street. They invited us. This was at the time that Jimmy Fallon's sort of lip sync thing was taking off. And they said, we're going to have a lip sync competition. Come meet people in the neighborhood, that sort of thing. And I was like, great. And so I signed, I was like, I'm on board. And one of the songs that I picked to lip sync to was We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together. And I fucking nailed it. I had watched videos. That doesn't need an apology. Bonnie has to admit that I fucking nailed it.
That's true.
Yeah. And I lip synced to this song. It went over extremely well. But here's what happened is the song after the song that I lip synced
Right.
was a song with Gary Lightbody from Snow Patrol. I don't have the right last song.
Oh my gosh. That's my favorite Taylor Swift song.
I love that song. And it would come up out because I'd drive around, like driving for depositions and shit. I would drive around listening to We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together so I could prepare for the competition. And then it would go into that next song. And I'm like, oh, I really like this song. And I started listening to more. I started going beyond just the lip sync, and I realized.
Is it The Last Time?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is it Lightbody is the last name, right?
Gary Lightbody.
Yeah. Fantastic song.
Great
Holy
song.
cow.
And Snow Patrol is a great band.
And honestly, you introduced that song to me when we were driving up to McCall. I don't know if you remember this. We were randomly driving through Eagle up to McCall, and you played that song for me. And I was not a Taylor Swift fan. And when you played that song for me, it converted me.
Yeah. It's a great song. And for somebody like me who's alternative grunge punk music snob. It was a crossover that I needed.
Yeah.
And I realized this woman is a freaking genius.
Yeah, she is.
She truly is. She's a songwriting genius. So when 1989 came out, I was on board. Like, I listened to that thing, and in my opinion, 1989 was one of the greatest pop albums of all time.
My wife just got me that on vinyl. I think I own 2 Taylor Swift vinyl records. Are you
got
proud of me?
72 to catch up to me.
It's ridiculous. Hey, Zach.
Yes.
We're on. How many minutes into this podcast are we? And Brian has talked about nothing but Taylor Swift.
It's been about 10 minutes of
Taylor.
T Swift.
Taylor. This man adores you.
I do. I think
Yeah.
I honestly, I know there's a lot of jokes out there about the Swifties and stuff and that sort of thing, but she is brilliant as a songwriter. She is brilliant as a businesswoman. She's
an icon of all icons. I mean,
an
she
icon
just
of all
is. This
kinds
is
of
her
icons.
year.
Like in hundreds of years, they will be talking about Taylor Swift the same way we talk about Shakespeare
Or the Beatles.
or the Beatles.
Yeah.
You name it.
Yeah, I agree.
If you had bought all 74 of those albums in 2023, you would have accounted for 0.002%
Yes, that
of
is.
her vinyl income,
You're welcome, Taylor.
of her estimated $1.1 billion net
But
worth.
here's the thing: she's worth a shit ton, and these tours have been incredible. She donated not donated. Well, she donates to every city that she goes to different things in the city. But she bonused all of her workers working on the crew on this tour. Like all the bus drivers got $100,000 bonuses,
Yeah, I saw.
or truck drivers or whatever.
Did you ever go to any of the Eras Tour movie theater showings?
No,
Yeah.
Brian went to the Eras tour.
No, I
Oh.
went to the Eras tour. Thank you very much.
Oh,
And I rented out the theater for the Eras.
Wait, you rented out the
Hold
theater
on.
for
The
Hold
whole
on.
theater for me and my friends
were
to
you
go
were
see
you
Taylor's.
were you
Wait, hold
front
on,
row?
Zach. Hold on. I gotta stop you right there.
My friends and I. Sorry, Bonnie.
No. I wasn't invited?
You were. I mentioned it to you, and you're like, "What the fuck?"
Whoa,
Taylor, come on this
No,
podcast.
that's
And
bullshit.
shut my
Hold
friend
on.
down.
That's bullshit. Because Brian just announced he rented out the theater. I had no idea. And you did not invite me.
I invited you.
You're full of shit. Sorry, Bonnie. Because Kathy and my wife and I were going to go see that in the theater. It never worked out. And if you would have invited me, tears would have rolled in appreciation.
Uh-huh.
And I would have been there.
Well, good news, Steve.
I am glad to know I'm not part of your friend group. I see that.
Good news.
No.
Good news.
Feel free to
Because
apologize
on
to your mom because
March 13th.
fuck you, Brian.
Sorry, Bonnie. Steve knows better. And he was invited and he rejected me outright.
I did not.
And it hurt and it still hurts. But March 13th, 14th, somewhere in there, just like a week out, Steve. It's going to be on Disney Plus, the Eras Tour parentheses Taylor's version.
Okay, and
You'll be able to stream it in the comfort of your own
ladies
home.
and gentlemen that are listening to our podcast, okay, this is not directed towards Taylor. I want you to know that here in a few months, on May 16th, is Brian Hilbert's birthday. He loves birthdays. As payback for him not inviting me to the Taylor Swift
You were
awesome party
invited.
that he clearly threw and did not invite his business partner and what I thought was a friend to. I am opening this podcast up to whatever anybody wants to do for Brian's birthday. Email me directly. You can get on Hilbert and McRae. You can find my email. If you email me directly, the most outrageous wins. We will surprise him. Doesn't have to be on his birthday. We'll figure something out to where we're going to make him pay for not inviting me to a Taylor Swift party because clearly I'm not his friend, but I'm going to counter that with ultimate friendship. So please reach out to me. All right.
I'm looking up currently the invitation that I sent out that went to you to invite you.
Oh, does he have receipts?
I don't know that I have receipts.
Put your phone down.
No, I won't.
Hey,
we
Zach, how many minutes are we into this podcast still talking about Taylor Swift?
We're at about 15 minutes now.
15 minutes, Brian, all based on your shirt. We haven't even gotten to the point to point out to the listeners that I'm yet again wearing one of your Dixon flannels.
Yeah, you are. The Twin Falls edition because of the 22 jumps. I'm going to send Zach, our producer here, the invitation that I created online, inviting people to the Taylor Swift Eras Tour movie after I had.
I don't know if we're going to get to the topic in question on this podcast, but
We might not.
because we're
It's kind of boring compared to
I
Taylor
think we
Swift.
have a new topic.
Yes.
Yeah, because here's the thing, Brian,
Uh-huh.
you know me as a person, right?
Yeah, you're kind of a dick.
I am a kind of a dick, but in being kind of a dick, do I respond to invitations online?
No.
Right.
Because you don't read shit that I send you online or anybody else.
That's right. I don't do group texts. I hate them. I hate them with the passion of the fire of 1,000 suns. My wife is pissed off about this. I don't do group texts. I don't get on Facebook and look at different invites on that. I think that is bullshit and it's a cop out. And you know this about me. So you threw a party and didn't have wait, real quick. How far is my office from your office?
20 yards.
Not 20 yards. It's not
10
60
yards.
feet, 10 feet. Or 10 yards. Okay, 10 yards. And how many minutes do we talk in any given day?
120.
That's good. 2 hours a
If
day.
you added in lunch, you add in on average. Yeah.
Of those 2 hours per day that we spend around each other, how many of those minutes did you mention renting out a theater to watch the Eras Tour concert?
Well, Steve, if you look at the invitation that I've already sent to Zach, that he can put up online so the viewers of our podcast can see for themselves. It was October 22nd, 2023 at 4:30 p.m. at Magic Valley Cinema 13.
Yeah, you're proving my point.
No.
That the only way that you invited me was pursuant to a platform that you know that I won't pay attention to.
Here's the other
Bad
thing.
friend.
No. Here's
Bad
the other
friend.
thing. Here's the other thing. Is on pretty much every Friday. I shouldn't say every, because anytime you say every or always or never,
It's hyperbole. And
it's
I do it all the
hyperbole.
time.
But nearly every Friday, you come into my office.
I do.
You say, "What are you doing this weekend?" Or I come into your office and I say, "Hey, what are you doing this weekend?" Because we're bros. And I care about your weekend.
Hold on. Just take a break real quick. I don't think I've ever heard you say the phrase bros.
Oh, we're bros, Steve.
He's pulling out the bros.
Man,
We-
pulled out
He
bros.
pulled out. He pulled
The
it out.
man that normally wears this fine Twin Falls Edition Dixon shirt, that's right, I went to it,
Mhm.
is saying bros.
Bros.
Cool.
Do you know
Okay.
why? Because we went last week. Who did we see? We saw Pennywise
We did.
in concert. We saw Dropkick Murphys in concert.
We did on
Oh,
a
wow.
random
Like Wednesday night in
Wednesday
Idaho
night.
Falls, Idaho.
2 weeks ago, right before I tried a case, and it was nerve wracking, but I loved the concert. But yeah, you're right.
Great show. But they
You
played.
definitely
They played Bro Him.
okay, and you definitely put that on my calendar. So mind you, I live and die by my calendar. I am far more regulated than Brian is because I have so many court cases. And you knew enough about me to put that on my calendar to make sure I was at that concert. Did you do that for the Eras Tour in the theater?
No.
It's a simple question. There
No,
you go.
I did not.
And
Fair enough. Fair
I'm
point.
cross-examining
Fair
Brian
point,
right now.
Steve. I did not put that on your calendar.
And you have yet to answer a question, Mr. Hilberta. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I'd like you to pay attention to this really quickly. Did you, in the 2 hours, 120 minutes as you have previously testified, did you, during any of those minutes, tell me about the Eras Tour in theaters?
Yes.
I call bullshit.
Ladies and
Sorry.
gentlemen of the jury.
Go ahead.
I think we got off track. But on the Friday before, which would have been October 20th, 2023, you asked, what are you doing this weekend? And I said to you, Stephen R. McCrae, the R stands for Reginald.
Okay.
We may have gotten too drunk for this episode.
A little bit.
Thank you, Warfield.
What is happening?
But on that Friday, I said, hey, yeah, we've rented out the theater for Taylor Swift, the Eras Tour. And come on down. Bring your family. And you were like, you did what? You rented out for Taylor Swift? You're a moron.
I did not say that. I have zero recollection of this conversation.
I have a recollection. Lection.
I feel like we need to just have a drunk court section of this podcast.
That's what's happening right
Ladies and gentlemen,
This is the pilot.
fans of the I Fought the Law podcast, episode 9 is a fucking disaster. Sorry, Bonnie.
Okay, so let's recap. You're wearing a Taylor Swift shirt.
I am.
You own 74 Taylor Swift vinyl records.
Vinyl records, yes.
You account for
Some of them
0.0.
signed.
Hold on.
Okay. I was just
You
pointing out
account-
that she signed some of them. Her hand has touched.
And I was about to say you account for 0.02% of her sales, but I bet that's more with the signed copies. I
Yes.
bet it's worth more than my $25 estimate.
Yes.
You have seen her in concert
Yes.
in Colorado.
Yes.
You rented out a theater
Yes.
for Taylor.
Yes, I have.
You did not invite me to the theater.
Go fuck yourself. Yes.
Sorry, Bonnie.
Okay.
That will be a dispute that we have forever.
Forever. And ever.
Because-
Quick question. Did you rent it out or did you buy every seat?
I rented it out
Okay.
for a private screening of Taylor
Okay.
Swift's
So you did not buy
Eras
every
tour.
seat.
Yes. No, I didn't buy every seat. I
Okay.
rented out the whole theater.
Okay. Because
Okay,
I looked
as-
that up and that's like minimum.
And I brought
$2,000.
bracelets to give out to everybody that attended.
There's no way that you mentioned this to me.
I
100%.
think it means he doesn't think you're Swiftie material.
Yeah, maybe you didn't make the cut of like Swiftiness.
That's what I think. That's what I think happened. I think
But
I'm
that
going to
would
call it out.
belie my evidence of I 100% had this conversation with you.
No, I think that you were lying. I'm going to just lay this out. I think you were lying for the podcast. You did not mention it to me because I'm not Swiftie enough, as Zach pointed out.
Taylor, please come on the podcast.
We have
Please.
we have video evidence of you sending it to Steve, going into his office. Now it's hitting me too. Opening the email and closing it,
Yes.
making it seem.
Steve never listens to anything I say, or like it's a miracle you're here today because you generally ignore anything I put on your calendar. But Taylor, please come on, listen to the evidence and decide. You can be the trier of fact here, pulling it back into,
Okay.
because normally juries are the trier of fact unless you have a court trial, in which case the judge is the trier of fact.
Way to try to bring it back into into a legal thing for
Taylor,
our legal
please
podcast.
be our trier of fact. Listen to the evidence and decide who is right. Who prevails in this argument? Was Steve invited to my renting out?
Without a doubt, she's going to side with me because
Please.
she's going to see me not only as the person that appreciates her, but also the person that is the victim in this case. I am absolutely the victim to Brian's negligence. If not, do you remember what scienter is?
Yeah.
Okay, scienter is a term of art particularly for fraud, where somebody says something that's so outlandish that they have a horrible mental state. And that's what I'm
Trying
claiming.
to deceive.
And that's what I'm claiming Brian is doing right now. He has Scienter trying to deceive our fine audience, including Taylor Swift, in believing that I had knowledge of an Eras Tour theatrical performance to where it was bought out. I would have been all over that, Brian.
Private.
How many people showed up to this?
Like 15, 20.
Wow.
What does our operating agreement for our LLC state about dissolution? Because we're there.
Here's the thing about Taylor Swift, though, because I got on the bandwagon listening to The Last Time with Gary Lightbody. I loved that song. I started listening to 1989. I loved it. And everything she's done since then is a fucking masterpiece. Not even sorry. Sorry, Mom.
I'm sorry, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for a lot of reasons.
But in addition to that,
Number one being how you raised your son.
no, but listen, I'm about
And
to,
just going against his friends, against the people that are most intimate in his life, to not
the thing.
inviting him
No,
to a
listen,
Taylor
I'm
Swift
about to get
private
real-
screening.
I'm about to
I'm
get
sorry, Bunny.
I'm about to get real right now.
He's a disappointment.
I'm about to get real. I'm going to get real. Let me get real. Is not only do I find her work incredible, not only do I think that Folklore is one of the greatest albums start to finish of all time. Not only do I think that a lot of her songs has had significant personal meaning to me, and sometimes they're fun, sometimes it's serious, sometimes whatever, but I relate to the way that she writes. But no, this is where it gets serious. I'm not making a joke right here.
I know.
It's
I'm
opened
loving every minute of this.
all sorts of like doors for communicating with my wife, for communicating especially with my kids. Even though my son tries to be cool and be like, I don't like Taylor Swift, but I saw him at the concert. I saw him singing along. He fucking loves Taylor Swift.
Sorry, Bonnie.
Sorry, Bonnie. Not sorry, Baker. Just admit it. Embrace it. I'll buy you a t-shirt. But I mean, how great is that though? Like, let's just like,
I fully agree with everything you're saying. The issue I have is that I wasn't invited to a theatrical selling out. I had no idea, Brian. None. You did not provide this to me. This is point of contention. This is partnership over, podcast over. This is the last episode.
we have to get to number 10 because you're doing your top 10 list.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right. I'll go one more.
Oh,
I'll go
number
one
10,
more.
top
Yeah.
10?
All right,
But
hey,
let
Zach,
me-
how many minutes have we been talking about Taylor Swift now?
30.
30.
Well, there you go.
Let's keep going.
Okay.
Do you subscribe to Disney Plus?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I was going to say, but I take it back now, that I would pay
I have a 3-year-old daughter. Are
I
you
would
kidding?
pay for your subscription to Disney Plus to watch the Eras Tour Taylor's version.
That's convenient now that you asked me whether I already subscribe. I don't think you were going to be willing to pay for my Disney Plus subscription.
You
said-
seem to be making up your own beliefs in your mind throughout this whole episode. So
You said Taylor's version. Does that imply that the Eras Tour was not her version?
no, but I think this version, she picked maybe some different like secret songs. That's what we're saying. It's gonna be a little different than the theatrical version.
You'd have to go down the Taylor Swift rabbit hole
But listen,
She has
to
a lot of
follow
versions,
what
doesn't she?
Brian's about
she's
to
got
say.
some versions, some various versions.
72 of them, even.
72,
Did you say
74
various virgins?
versions.
No, you said
He
virgins.
said
I said virgins because thank you, Warfield. My speech may be a little off.
Okay.
That's just proof that she's a government plant.
Well, we did have a topic to talk
We
about on
did.
this.
We were going to talk about some other stuff, but we're not going to talk about that now because it's boring compared to Taylor Swift.
And
Thank you. Let me just make some thanks,
please.
both to Taylor Swift for all sorts of reasons, giving us a topic for this podcast, for pulling me out of my sort of sexist, music snobbish view of her music, for providing an avenue for conversation and opening up with my wife and kids. And
And providing you material for your best lip syncing
yeah,
performance ever.
I went to the final round of that podcast, or not podcast, lip sync competition. And Hillary Gadd, who we should have as a guest on this podcast.
Yeah.
Come on, Hillary. Absolutely crushed me in the final, and she won. So I came in second after like several rounds, but I killed it in the first round. And I took down our friend Chris Reed in the very first round with We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together. Great song. A lot of fun. Again, you should probably come to the this is gonna be after the fact, so it doesn't matter. But the concert that Run Amok's playing.
With Brian taking a drink, let me thank Taylor. Number one, I appreciate your music, Taylor. Number two, I appreciate that you're going to be on the podcast. And number three, thank you for providing the platform that has shown to me who Brian Hilbert's true friends are. So I appreciate it.
And I would
And hold on.
Oh, sorry.
Yours. But Taylor, thank you. You've really laid the groundwork for me to show or to see how little my business partner thinks of me.
Hilberta
Thank
McRae,
you.
parentheses, Taylor's
Taylor's
version.
version. In Taylor's version of Hilbert and McRae. Taylor, I would like to thank you for providing a platform in which my true friends, who I invited to the theatrical debut of
Not
the
me.
Eras Tour, that actually showed up, who didn't say, "You're a fucking moron," sorry, Bonnie, for running out a whole theater to watch the movie. I know who those people are in my life, and I
would have
love
gone.
them.
I would have gone. You're full of shit.
You made fun of me for running out of theater, which
I did.
I get, but I got a lot of shit for running out a whole theater for my friends and I to watch the Eras Tour movie.
No, I don't.
I can't
agree with
believe
it.
we spent a whole fucking episode talking about this.
Well, here it is. So Taylor, you've got to come on now. Well, everybody, it's been real. It's been fun. We had a topic to talk about.
We'll bring it up next time or the time after that.
Yeah, sometime.
It won't
But-
be the last time.
Oh. Oh, light body.
Thank you for listening to I Fought the Law. Thank you to our producer, Zach, and his company, Focus Filmworks,
Uh-huh.
for producing the podcast. Thank you to my partner, Stephen R. McRae, who
I think
didn't show up when I rented out.
he's
the
cutting
theater,
up your shirt.
and who is currently wearing my t-shirt, the Twin Falls edition of the Dixon Flannel. And we hope to see you next time on episode 10, wherein Stephen R. McRae will be presenting his top 10 bands / artists.
10 on 10.